Hello viewers, welcome to Science TV 1 PM News with me, Catherine Dinda, and my sign language interpreter doing the voicing, Irene Chebiwot. Let's focus on our news. President William Ruto on Wednesday morning held a meeting with private sector investors to discuss effective strategies for doing business in the country. The meeting, which took place at a hotel in Nairobi, focused on creating more conducive environment for investment and economic growth. The president emphasized his government's commitment to supporting local and international businesses by addressing key challenges such as bureaucracy and high taxes. The investors, in turn, presented their concerns and proposed solutions to help improve the business climate.
The people who have absorbed, the people who have come through the Hustler Fund, because the banks can now look at their credit rating records and know that these are good borrowers. They may not have a title deed, they may not have a logbook, but they are good borrowers and they are well-behaved business people. So I want to persuade my good friends, the people who talk from Nairobi. They talk to us from posh hotels, They have money from this NGO and that NGO and the other one. Please, there are Kenyans who today have a mechanism for them to borrow money. And for your information, these small people who borrow 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, they have mobilized 5 billion shillings in savings over the last 3 years. 5 billion shillings in savings. There are people who would have wanted to save 20, 30, 40, 50 shillings a day. They did not have a mechanism on where to save without going into a place where their money could be lost. Now they have a mechanism under Hustler Fund that has the backstopping of the government of Kenya. They know their money is safe.
On to our next news. Labour Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua is under fire from a parliamentary committee over the handling of a government-backed recruitment drive for jobs in Qatar. The Parliamentary Committee on Diaspora Affairs claims the recruitment process was skewed in favor of Mutua's home counties, raising serious concerns about fairness and transparency. Appearing before the committee, Mutua was pressed to explain why the national exercise, which took place in 6 counties between November and December 2024, appeared to be heavily concentrated in his Ukambani home counties of Machakos, Makueni, and Kitui. In his defense, Mutua denied claims of regional bias, stating it was very unfair to demonize on one region. He has pledged to provide the committee with a report detailing the actual distribution of job offers across the country.
I don't know what criteria we are using to identify the registration centers and the recruitment centers. Because Waziri, I'm afraid to say, I'm looking at the counties that you've mentioned: Machakos, Kitui, Makueni. Basically, that's where you're coming from, Waziri.
This number is so big, you are taking from one or a few counties that speak the same native language. The Kenyans are worried about that.
And there are other areas where more people have been recruited than even Machakos, Makueni, and Kitui. And so I do not understand why, or the document that you have and the data that you have and the comprehensiveness, and I'm willing to provide this committee the full data.
You've said we have legit agents. Have you, even as a ministry, gone out there and made noise and said, if you are not getting employment from these accredited agencies, then we are not part of it?
The responsibility is also on the Kenyan to ensure that you do due diligence. Kama mtu anakuzia shamba, unaangalia kama hiyo shamba, hiyo title deed ni fake ama ni ukweli. And if you get a fake title deed, you don't blame the government. You also have to blame yourself.
Yeah, I don't know why you like being a lone ranger. You've decided not to just work with people, most of this committee. I didn't expect that from you. These are people who can support you so much in some of these things.
Moving on. The Catholic Church is raising the alarm over delays in the disbursement of school capitation funds, with Archbishop Philip Anyalo urging the government to release the money promptly and in adequate amounts. Speaking at the annual Catholic Schools Principals Association of Kenya conference, Archbishop Anyolo warned politicians against making reckless statements on education funding, stating that such remarks undermine the efforts to provide free and fair education. The church leaders highlighted the financial strain schools are under due to delayed capitation, which has led to challenges in running daily operations in accumulating pending bills. They stressed that education is a critical tool for empowering children from poor backgrounds and called on the government to strengthen the free education program.
Reduced government capitations, for example, delays in disbursement of funds, insufficient number of teachers, pressure from parents, and increasing enrollments without matching infrastructure. It's very much in details, because if you make any blunder in education, you can bring the whole country down. You can bring the whole humanity down. So we have to be very cautious that any other things as we go about in politics and so such, we don't make blunders on matters education.
Then we'll persuade Parliament, we'll persuade Treasury under Supplementary 1 or Supplementary 2 to get more resources to be able to cover the students. Student-centered funding model is to ensure that we leave no student behind or no student misses university because of the background where they come from. And we're encouraging each and every student to apply. We will go out of our way to ensure that when we confirm that a student is vulnerable, we will look for resources to ensure that they are in school.
Kenya's recent designation is a major non-NATO ally by the United States is under review by the US Congress, a move prompted by Kenya's ongoing diplomatic and economic engagements with China. A proposal from the US Senate Foreign Relations Committee chairperson has initiated a formal review of the status, which granted to Kenya in June 2024. The designation gives Kenya certain military and financial advantages, making it the first sub-Saharan African nation to receive such a title. The congressional review comes amid growing concerns in Washington about Kenya's relationship with what the US considers its adversaries, including China. To our last news, the government's flagship digital payment platform, eCitizen, is at the heart of a major scandal following an audit report that uncovered massive irregularities. Auditor General Nancy Gathungu has flagged transactions worth a staggering 111 billion shillings, warning that the system has left public funds exposed to fraud, misappropriation, and revenue leakages. The shocking revelations were brought before the National Assembly's Public Accounts PSC, where lawmakers expressed outrage. The committee is now demanding the immediate shutdown of the platform, with some members reportedly describing it as a crime scene of monumental proportions.
The two private entities that had been paid 127 million was Wandabo Associates Limited, 63 million, and Gold Rock Capital Limited, also 63. The money was in exact equal.
Let's be sincere as Kenyans. This eCitizen is not supposed to be operational. From these findings of this audit report, that's the truth.
eCitizen platform is a scam. Chair, you've been able to read that there is no legal framework.
The whole thing is a crime scene. I don't even know where to start. I am actually, I don't know. I'm stressed.
We are staring at a monumental scandal, or monster.